My name is Gasia Mikaelian, and I'm coming to you through KTVU Fox 2 News in the San Francisco Bay Area. Today, we are talking about having a baby during the pandemic. I'm so happy to welcome to this conversation Gwen Haynes. You're a certified nurse midwife,
Yeah.
co-owner. Okay, let me start that again. 3, 2, 1. My name is Gasia Mikaelian, coming to you through KTVU Fox 2 News in the San Francisco Bay Area. Today, we're talking about having a baby during the pandemic. I'm so happy to talk with certified nurse midwife and co-owner of Golden Oak Midwives in Oakland, California, Gwen Haynes. Thanks for being with us, Gwen.
Hi, Mickey.
Yeah!
Sorry, I'm making
No,
it.
it's okay. This is why we tape. All right. Hey, let's
This
try it
one,
again.
It'll be good. Yes.
Okay, let me see. Okay. My name is Gasia Mikaelian. Oh my God, what am I? Okay. Oh my God.
We should have like bloopers.
I know.
at the end.
This is never going to happen. Okay. All right. Okay. Here I go. This is the one.
Okay.
My name is Gasia Mikaelian, coming to you through KTVU Fox 2 News in the San Francisco Bay Area. Today, we are talking about having a baby during the pandemic. I'm so happy to welcome to the conversation certified nurse midwife. Did I say? Oh my God. Oh
You
my
did.
God.
You said
No,
it right.
I said it right. I thought I said MERS. Like what the men carry, like a man purse.
Oh, maybe.
Oh my God. Okay.
At least somebody else isn't watching us do this.
I know. Can you imagine what our sons would say?
I know.
Like those idiots. Okay. This is the one. Certified nurse midwife co-owner. Okay. 3, 2, 1. My name is Gasia Mikaelian, and I'm coming to you through. I just hit the wrong key. This is ridiculous. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. My name is Gasia Mikaelian, and I'm coming to you through KTVU Fox 2 News in the San Francisco Bay Area. Today, we're talking about having a baby during the pandemic. I'm so happy to welcome to this conversation certified nurse midwife and co-owner of Golden Oak Midwives in Oakland, California, Gwen Haynes. Thanks for joining us, Gwen.
Hi, Gasia. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So let's talk about babies born during the pandemic. Some people were saying expect a baby boom, expect a baby bust. What are you seeing at Golden Oak?
We are definitely seeing a baby boom. And we kind of thought that might happen, but it certainly has proven the case. In 2021, our practice is busier than it has been since it was founded in 2016. Likely attributed to the pandemic, but always not totally certain.
Right, because you really can't stop nature. We'll talk more about that in a second. But first, tell me, most of the families you're helping, are they saying we've been trying for years to have a baby, or oops, this just happened? What are some of the stories you're hearing about these pandemic babies?
Probably a smattering of all. I think in the beginning, when the pandemic was first upon us, people may have hesitated to start their family or add to their family. And I think that as we all settled in, it felt like people wanted their lives to continue. And so if their plan was to have a baby, they want to continue with that plan. We have definitely had a few oops, didn't think we were going to get pregnant or we're planning to have a baby, and here we are. But I think now, almost a year in, it feels like people want to continue their life plan and start a family if that was in their cards.
You and I talked several months ago about how different it was for people who sort of have the traditional hospital route to having a baby. Your practice is special. Can you tell us just a little bit about Golden Oak and how it really is different than what many women go through?
Absolutely. Our mission really is to bring a very high touch experience to families as they're anticipating their baby. We are private practice, and so people seek us out to have a relationship with their provider first and foremost. We are available to our clients 24/7, 365 days a year. And then in the hospital, we literally are curbside pickup. When you're in labor and you arrive at Alta Bates, we are waiting for you in front and we usher you in and we're at your side the entire time. It's a very different experience than a much larger practice where, that's just an impossibility for the providers that are part of that service. So I also think that not just the pandemic alone has caused us to be busier, but I also think that because of the pandemic, there's a higher sense of anxiety, and feeling like you have connection with your provider has also proved us a busier year this year.
Have you, I'm sure you've guided many expectant parents through I mean, look, let's be honest. You and I each have two children. In and alone, even a perfectly normal pregnancy can be very, very stressful.
Yes.
What can being pregnant during a pandemic add to that?
Definitely anxiety. We've seen kind of across the board that being the case. Also, a higher sense of isolation. People are at home more, and their normal support systems that they anticipated during their possible pregnancy aren't there in the same capacity. People have restrictions in travel, and that has proved a little bit probably another layer of stress for people. Again, a year into it, I think people have become better at strategizing how to make this work, learned and understand better how to quarantine and test. So today versus last spring, it feels different in that way too.
Right. And you do a great job of providing support services to the families you serve. I remember, back when my little ones were brand new, I felt like I was at every, breastfeeding support group, mommy and me playtime, and it was really more for me than it was for my infant.
I think that the silver lining for us, particularly at Golden Oak, is the virtual services now that we provide. And I don't anticipate that going away. I think it actually serves a broader audience, and people can actually come, in the middle of breastfeeding or while they're making dinner. And so we have absolutely, grown our services in terms of connecting people and creating community. We have like an online portal almost every night that people can log into, serving you while you're pregnant, during your postpartum period. We have guest speakers from all over the community come and give talks as well. So that piece, I feel like, has been an absolute silver lining.
What have been some of the most exciting or interesting birth experiences you've been part of in this past year?
Oh my gosh, everyone is exciting, Gasia.
I know everyone is. It's a miracle every time it happens.
It
really
is. I think that what has been amazing is the sort of solidarity that us providers and the staff at Alta Bates has created. It really has felt like we've come together to not change people's experience for their birth, and that we have shown up even when we were really anxious too, and provided women and families wonderful experiences, even in spite of all the unknowns around COVID. So that, I think, has been truly inspiring.
How has
This
it
year.
affected you being the one to help bring new life into the world, especially in a time of so much loss?
Well, I always tell people that I have the best job in the world. And so birth creates new life. And every birth that I attend gives me, this like feeling of, it's a great feeling. And so I am very blessed by my career, and that I get to see not all the difficulties around COVID, but also the birth of new life, which is always inspiring. And so I feel very fortunate that my job allows me to see goodness every day, as opposed to some more tragedy.
Do you find, I'm sure you talk with the parents you help, once you have a baby, it changes your view on everything,
Absolutely.
especially, time and the life cycle. And, back when you're 24, you think, the city would barely survive without me, or my office could never function without me. But as
Right.
soon as you have that baby, you think, wow, it's not just me out there. Have you had any of those talks with families you've helped bring new life into this world about how it changes their perspective?
I'm always talking about the metamorphosis of motherhood and parenting, because as you're anticipating your first child, you really don't understand that. And so we spend time talking about, the time that it's going to take and how your life is going to change, and how time is no longer your own, especially after the birth of your first child, and how to navigate that moving forward. So it is actually something that we thread through all of our prenatal care visits, and certainly speak to a lot on during the first weeks home with your newborn. Absolutely.
About how many births did you attend this past year?
Well, Golden Oak, so I have a partner, and so we share the responsibility of attending births. We birthed, I think, about 70 babies last year, and then this year it'll be a little bit closer to 80 or more. We max out. There are actually more people in the community that would like to come to Golden Oak, but there's just 2 of us. And so we end up turning some families away, unfortunately.
How often is it that you guys max out? Have you maxed out before?
We are booked through October. So that is a very, we are excited, and we are also knowing that there's probably a lot of room for growth at Golden Oak. So we're, considering how that's going to look. But the community needs more midwives, and so we are trying to figure out how to make that happen.
Would you say that this past year and then looking out until the fall when you're booked, is that sort of unprecedented demand for your services, or have there been times that you've been this busy before?
This year, it is the busiest we've been. Absolutely. It's a little hard to know too. It's the 5-year mark of our business. So that's also that sort of threshold of sink or swim. But I also attribute it to possibly the pandemic, and also word of mouth. And, we've delivered a lot of babies now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, it strikes me that you've helped so many people become parents in what has been a very, very difficult year for so many. Have you ever had in this past year a family that was welcoming a new baby at the same time they had perhaps a loved one struggling with COVID, or someone lost a parent to COVID, a very tragic time?
Fortunately, I don't think we've had an immediate family member lose a life in COVID due to COVID, but we have absolutely had family members get COVID and get sick in COVID, and thankfully get well. So we are thankful for that. But I am certain that this pandemic has affected other people anticipating a baby, have this come into their lives. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of the deepest sorrow and loss combined with the greatest joy you could ever feel. Is there anything else you'd like to say about what your experience has been like in this past year of COVID?
Well, I guess the other thing that I would say is that it is recommended that all pregnant women and lactating women get vaccinated. And there's lots of good resources out there in terms of helping you make that decision. But I would absolutely encourage, we know the risk of COVID, which is huge, and the risk of the vaccine does not nearly carry that weight in terms of potential risk. So we are advocating for all of our pregnant families to get vaccinated.
Okay, well said. An important message. Well, Gwen Haynes, thank you so much. Golden Oak Midwives in Oakland, California. Thank you for joining me. Congratulations on bringing so many beautiful babies into this world, especially now.
Thank you, Gasia.